Alright, it's your boy xBenv0liox coming back here with a third competitive victory against the same Dwarven player I played against last time, Consul Tornow. He's again bringing another Dwarven army to bear against me. This time I decided to go with the Wood Elves, and I'm using a less used Wood Elf unit. I don't see too much of these. These are the Wildwood Rangers. They are armor-piercing infantry, armor-piercing damage dealers, Wildwood Rangers, yeah, with a couple chevrons in them. So again, see the dwarves. I want to bring the armor piercing. So they got these nice big cleaver-looking things they got going on there. Ouch! They're going to be doing some nasty work in melee. I got 2 groups of them, as well as 3 groups of Eternal Guard with shields, making up the front line, kind of spaced out in anticipation of him having more cannons. In the back line, I've got 1 group of Way Watchers with their armor-piercing missiles, and 2 groups of Glade Guard with Starfire shafts for that more armor-piercing value. To bring to bear against any Iron Breakers he's bringing today, in case he brought some more Iron Breakers, which I believe he did. I went with Orion, King of the Wood this time. He's got some nasty offensive spells, some buffs, and also a ranged attack. So he's quite versatile. He's also a decent melee combatant. And then on far out on each flank, I've got a group of Glade Riders with Hagbane tips right out here. So poison shot, basically. Vanguard deployment, able to fire in arrows, just be really annoying. And again, they got the range and they got the mobility to be really annoying for those slow-moving dwarves. And a group of Wild Riders, and that's the same on each flank. I think I got 1 chevron in the Wild Riders over here, maybe 1 chevron in the Wild Riders. Hiding out over here, much closer to his army, out on the farther flank of his army. This group of Wild Riders with 1 chevron, and Hagbane tips with 1 chevron, going for the double envelop and the charge with the infantry. So that's my army, Wood Elf army there. Nice and simple. And here's his Dwarven army. He's got some Longbeards again. 1 Longbeards, Iron Breakers, 2 groups of Iron Breakers, 3 groups of Iron Breakers, 1 group of Longbeards in the front. In the back, 1 group of Standard Dwarf Warriors, and another group of Standard Dwarf Warriors, and a group of Hammers, which are parked back here for some reason. So Hammers are armored, armor-piercing, and damage dealers. So yeah, they're going to do they're going to do decent work against my infantry. The Wildwood Rangers have a nice fight going on with them. Look at those super hammers. He's also got the Master Engineer. Master Engineer again, buffing his artillery, which he's brought again 2 cannons and a flame cannon. Again, same artillery build. And Thorgrim Grudgebearer. So Thorgrim Grudgebearer as well. So a slightly tweaked build. But again, I'm going to be able to exploit my cavalry to bring it down. Hopefully. Well, let's see. So anyway, let's put it into speed and watch as this goes. So my infantry again immediately going to be vulnerable to that artillery fire, which I believe he has. Is he buffed it? Can't tell. They are firing though. Master Engineer's going to be putting some buffs into the artillery, and roasting those poor Eternal Guards once again. But the Way Watchers already getting shots in because of their excellent range. They're able to fire even from that far back, which is great. So the shields are kind of negating a bit of that damage. Got some more volleys coming in. But I think there's a couple models getting sunk. Ow, those blasting charges from the Iron Breakers going into the Wildwood Rangers, knocking some of them back. However, getting a nice cavalry charge already into that group of Iron Breakers, but they are throwing some nasty satchels at my wild riders. However, the Hagbane tips firing in those poison shots, getting in there, circling right around with the Hagbane tips and cavalry on this side, trying to get into those juicy cannons, charging into this group of Dwarf Longbeards. Ow, decent charge. Gonna pull right back and start cycle charging as much as possible, as I'm doing on the left side here. Looks like the Wild Riders are trying to circle around, as I've cast a spell with Orion here, these prancing dogs, which have forced some of his poor Dwarf Warriors out of position. Not a good move, because now I'm going to be able to get right into that artillery and cause havoc and almost get right on top of it and just do as much damage as I can. Oh no, both groups should not have opened up. Boyo. So I'm going to stay on top of that just to make sure it's done. And once that artillery's done, I can just rear charge him to death. He probably knows that. The Glade Riders, the Hagbane tips, still firing in. So letting that spell move his troops out of position was not a good idea, because I just got right into the rear of his artillery, and I'm basically eliminating it quite effectively from the game. I don't know if this crew is even on the artillery anymore, but my Wild Rider's in a bit of a bad position. Gonna want to get out of there and get some rear charges into his warriors here, if I can get a chance. Because I don't want to get them too stuck in, but it looks like I'm going for a nice rear charge against the Hammerers here. There we go. Nice rear charge into the Hammerers. Ooh, who are also taking damage from the... So they are just taking too much abuse. That's going to cause them to rout. Getting a nice rear charge back here, too, as well, into that group of Iron Breakers. Yeah, and that's going to be all she wrote, basically. Charging into these groups here. Yeah, that's going to be all she wrote, so he's in a really bad position, and he knew it. He knew that was basically it for him now that I'd eliminated his artillery. So nice quick game. That's how you can use cavalry to great effect against the dwarves, in combination with some offensive spells. But yeah, it just felt pretty good. I mean, like, after you pull off something like that, you feel pretty good about yourself. Yeah. Let's check the kill count, though. He probably did rack up quite a bit with that artillery anyway. He still got 48 kills with the flame cannon, just on the opening charge. So the infantry's always going to be vulnerable against those opening charges. I mean, he had a decent strategy, but there's probably better units he could have used. Maybe Slayers just being a little bit quicker, having that anti-large bonus would have been better against the cavalry instead of all those Iron Breakers and Longbeards. And the Hammers, I don't know if they were really the best choice. I don't know if I have anything that was actually armored in this army at all, so their armor piercing was not put to good use. However, my armor piercing was easily brought to bear on the Iron Breakers there, so maybe Hammers weren't a good choice for him. Slayers probably would have been better, maybe a couple groups, but whatnot. But you know what? I'm not complaining. I won. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's Wood Elves versus Dwarves, and pretty satisfying win for the old Woody Elves, for all the hippies. Alright, so for all the hippies out there, keep it real.